contemplating, lad?
I should have known you'd come back, but still gave me heart to jump.
So, run into your sister. They were at Atlantis.
That's, bet she's a bit more chipper than I am right now.
Yes, well, they have not gone through what you have, so.
Aye, and I don't want them to. I don't even want to tell them about it.
I mentioned a bit.
Aye. Really stuff that you
They were near me
inevitably
when I was
needed
talking
to.
about it.
Alright.
I did let them know that you may be absent for a little while.
Thank you on that front. Maybe that'll give him time to make me bed.
They did make a joke on that.
We know each other well in that case.
It's all very pretty, isn't it?
Aye. Almost takes my mind off it.
Yes, it is very nice for those things. Very distracting.
Aye. I'm just worried at this point. And not even about me kin. Although I guess I have to be worried about them at least a little bit.
Yola, the things starting to get more and more out of control. It is difficult to not worry.
Aye. As I already questioned, how bloody high up the totem pole are we going to need to climb?
Who knows? From what I have gathered, there are two horrors, and both of them are being driven by something else.
Aye.
The source of those whispers.
The infestation, you called it?
The infestation isn't what whispers. Something old from that universe.
What? The void itself? You kept getting dragged into?
No, that void is not alive.
Well, he better not be. A void is meant to be an absence.
You'd think so. But, I mean, we're sitting in it.
I suppose. A void doesn't have to be the absence of terrain. It's probably a calm place for you because it's an absence of, well, animals, of life. Plants are life
In all
too, I
reality,
know, but...
Let's see. It was the second one? Yeah, second life. I had made this when I wished for solitude. And it was nice.
Conjuring up a dream of your own making, eh?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that I wished to run from then.
Aye. I know I've got got shit I want to run from too.
So, at some point we cannot run anymore.
Aye. What the fuck am I gonna do?
What we always do, keep moving forward. Life moves too fast in the metaverse to get stagnant.
I suppose. Why didn't I fucking resist that?
Do you know why I do not claim to be a god?
You don't want the thought process of that getting to your head.
When I first came to the reality that I call home now, I had come with 6 others from the previous one. And we ended up getting put on task force, the one I am commander of. The Achilles heels, meant to deal with all sorts of nasty reality benders and reality bending locales. Out of the 6 that came with me, well, everyone is dead, but 2 were by unexpected and 4 had to be terminated. As soon as someone like myself starts getting a god complex, Foundation sees fit that they get dealt with. They become threats to localized reality.
I start thinking you're a god more than you're not, and they'll deal with you. That kind of deal.
Well, since
You simply
that's
do it
what
to
the
keep
task
yourself
force
in
was
check.
designed for, yes, and I had to do the job myself for each of them.
Aye. So I'm probably not even the first or even going to be the last person that's going to feel that fucking double barrel on the back of their head.
Actually, I didn't have that.
I guess congratulations on me being your first attempt at doing a cool movie shot, I guess.
Oh, you know I wouldn't have pulled the trigger.
No point running your subjects through a gauntlet just to kill him at the end.
Oh.
At this point, I'm starting to take a little bit of pride on the fact that I haven't died. So far, anyway. Despite all the constructs you throw at me, despite all the Harrowbomb bollocks and whatever else the metaverse can throw at me. And without wearing a shirt, no less.
I figured you'd button up those coveralls at least once.
Suspenders broke a while ago. They're more just tassels now.
Another thing you had mentioned when you took your eyes out. It said hundreds of souls.
What looked like it. I could only see cores. I couldn't see any semblance of the soul that would normally surround it.
It's a bit hard to explain, but there's at least 4 individuals inside my mind, body technically, that's all me, but not
Aspects,
me.
yeah.
There's different versions of me. That's a bit of an interesting thing of being a Void Walker is when universes and realities die, they leave the fragments in the void. And when you're soaking up all of that energy from it, well, you may get some familiar, technically body hoppers.
Oh, I see. Not exactly the friendliest time
It's
then.
mainly, well, you'd be surprised. Most of them are tolerable. There's one mount I don't like, but he's here to stay. I can't really force him out.
For a moment, I thought for a second you were going to tell me that priests weren't the only one to essentially be 4 bloody gods in one head.
Oh no, I'm the only one with my abilities. The rest of them were as standard as you can get in the Foundation.
I see.
It's another one of the reasons I don't overuse my abilities. The more I use them, the louder they get.
I see. That explains why you seem a little more out of it when you have to get a bit more intense with your usage.
Yes, quite a few of them have PTSD. They've experienced the death of their realities. And when you start having an episode of that, especially with the ability to shape reality, well,
Your mind would want it back.
doesn't make for a good combination. May turn things sour.
Reality to bring it back, probably.
I won't go back to that moment.
I don't want to go back to thinking about that kind of memory. I'm worried about a lot of shite at this juncture.
Anything that I may be able to assist with?
I don't know. Maybe. It's not me. Okay, I guess it is me kin I'm worried about. But moreover, what a bollocks I've landed myself in. I ended up getting bloody arrested. Trying to do a bloody job for Tony. Those bastard hounds.
Now, crooked or just bad?
The same group that managed to was basically given, that Max was fucking given to after Omni's raid. Those bastards nearly dissected him.
That group. Yes, I remember that. Wanting to...
Explains why Red was able to get through to him. I might have rescued him, but Red's rescued him more than me at this stage. I say it like it's a competition. If they were just a little slower, after putting me in a cell, I would have been able to use the coin from Priest to get out. But they didn't realize what I was about to do, but they wanted me for something very quickly after they shut the door. Big metal blast door, not even bars. They struck a bloody deal with me.
Someone of your caliber could probably bend those bars.
Aye. Same with the other two that got. Scales is fucking stuck with them.
They have scales.
Aye. And some last name Juvia. That shapeshifter that attempted to attack Hay and Max in the stadium a good 2 months back is in their hands now. I don't know why I didn't do anything. Why the fuck didn't I do anything? Was I just stuck? Was I so calmed down from the combat adrenaline of having finally subdued that bastard that it didn't even click with me that I was about to have cuffs slapped on me? I say this to you because I feel safe doing it. I know you at least have the calm and rationale to not immediately get miffed at me for it. But they struck an ultimatum with me. Either I rot in the cell, or I try and go immediately under the knife, or I work with them and be allowed out. Hence why I was able to show up for dealing with that problem once and for all. Or at least one step of the bloody way. For all intents and purposes, I'm stuck.
What are they wanting you to do?
I don't know. But for all intents and purposes, I'm a double agent for them now. I'm just trying to figure out a way to become a triple. With free Scales and Juvia.
I may have some ideas. But
Max.
Probably having you be a double agent would be not trusting of you.
They haven't called me for it yet. But they expect me to answer. They say if I don't answer or keep giving excuses, odds are good they'll probably be getting pretty suspicious. They told me they knew where to hit. I don't know if they're bluffing or not. I don't want to find out.
I mean, if they're going to strike at family, we can take care of that.
Aye.
If they're going to strike at Max, we can definitely take care of that. I doubt he'll contest to having an extended stay at site.
No. Max will definitely contest them and trying to take them again. Max, I know would be mad at me for taking that kind of deal at the very least. If Red was still alive, if he found out, he'd probably try and kill me.
You were put to an ultimatum of either rotting in a cell, dying, or working with them. No one blames you for not being the steel-coated soldier, considering, well, you doubt you're willingly a soldier.
I mean, they never gave me.
You may come to these things, but
I know that the lass that gave me that ultimatum, before we were put into the cell, just straight killed the man for just trying to disobey. Stuck a claw into his neck. A glug was heard and he dropped. Something about venom. What can I do against
We're
that?
dealing with a kind of organization that very low tolerance for anything.
I doubt they'd try and strike him where I work. That gets an entire district looking at him.
The punks will have, some very skilled people to strike at them as well. So I doubt they'd go for them.
No, especially considering I apparently heard the punks basically helped get him back in the first place. Get Max back in the first place from him. I wasn't even made aware of what happened with Max in that case until I was told he was rescued.
We do have a plan, especially if they're holding scales as well.
Aye. They managed
Just
to
means
slap a
that we
bloody
are going
suppression
to
collar
show-
onto him.
I'll need to talk with Tony since it's his area of expertise, but showing a bit more muscle may be a bit too brash. Stealth would probably be the best way.
Despite its reputation,
Then we have a
I think Zephyra is safe. Even with that, for at least we can do mind to travel into. Other spots, I don't know. Whereas I styled myself like a strong man, she styled herself like a spider. I wouldn't be surprised if the only reason she bloody took interest in me is just because we had similar back accessories, I guess. Except hers was smaller, looking like 6 prongs rather than 2 arms. Fucking spiders. Piece of shite spiders.
Yes. Don't tell me you're going to start developing arachnophobia as well.
Is there a fancy word for that? For burgeoning hatred? Arachno-hatred or something?
I don't know.
Arachno-wrath?
I mean, they call it homophobia to hate, people of the rainbow.
And obviously I can't be that, my brother. What I was already hearing from Zaz and Jonah, well, Jonah himself seems to be following that path. And good on him, frankly. Maybe at some point when it all blows over, maybe I could see about trying adoption. Trying to figure out a way to get the kin off each other's backs over who's going to be the family maker.
Granted, I did restore function. I doubt you'd actually use.
Restore function? Mate.
Hey, it wasn't my idea for you to have, the crown jewels broken.
It's that bloody witch. That bloody wind witch at that time. And Gran just thinks it's fucking funny, the blocky bastard.
I am sorry. Hiring him is a bit of less of a burden on me.
At the very least, I know they're not gone. You revert all damage at the end of rushes, so I have 'em back at least.
Hmm.
The main factor is simply I have no drive. The pack,
Yes,
the
which is
metal,
surprising considering you're
the amount of metal suppresses it, turning me into the rare breed of rabbit that's aromantic and asexual.
Romantic is a bit of a stretch. You may have just not found the right person yet.
Maybe. I don't know though. I feel no drive for either sex, frankly, but we're getting off topic.
Not necessarily.
I get you, but
It's life.
fuck. I'm just, with this fucking double agent business, I'm just scared of how much I could lose. Scared how much I could stand to
We
lose.
always have everything to lose.
Aye.
Just not every day that you actually realize it.
It's not every day you end up having to fear it. At least when I come into rushes, well, I usually at least have in the expectation that death's not the end. But your end. But with...
Most of the time I'm able to stop things before they get too far.
Aye. Shame about Kevin. Didn't he catch him before he bit it?
Yes.
If they're not bluffing, then they're probably either talking about Max, me family, or something else.
Well,
Maybe even just trying to pierce me reservoir and watch me slowly bleed out.
That's the thing, though. You do have both myself and Priest on speed dial.
True. Although a priest is not as speedy
You
as
seem
it
to
could have been.
have made... Yeah.
I just wasn't fast enough to hit the buttons at that point.
Good news with myself. You don't really need a button. In all reality, there's few of you that consistently attend, and I keep mental tabs on you. Not watching everything you do, but more of
Checking in on the mental status every once in a while,
kind of. Having like a part of me be around you just to be conscious enough to hear when I'm called.
Probably why you came back here, eh?
Yes, I couldn't leave you here. And it's nice to talk things out instead of nursing a bottle.
Care for your bones, mate.
Yes, they keep slipping out. Weird. So do I need to get you a barrel of rum for you?
Atlantis is already closed. I don't need it. And frankly, Being drunk is probably only gonna make the shit worse.
How about a good night's sleep then?
Aye.
Considering I
What the
doubt you've
fuck I can
slept
do.
since the rush.
Aye.
We'll get stuff set up, do not worry. We can talk with your siblings about getting moved over to the site, since I know no one can get there without our permission.
Aye. See about you doing that. I don't know what taps they may be keeping on me. For all I know, this fucking device is recording every bloody word I say. I've already fucked myself.
I would say, being here, I doubt that it could get any connection to them, considering you're out of plane.
I wouldn't know.
I'm 90% sure.
I guess I could just...
Considering it's a pain in the ass for me to contact anyone else.
I guess I'm just gonna have to trust your word on this.
When have I ever led you astray?
Aside from rash purposes.
No, those are different circumstances. I have to be vague for those, otherwise it'd be too easy.
Fair argument on that front. I definitely feel like I do wish maybe it would be nicer to face a construct of myself in less dire circumstances than that. Maybe it'd be a nice fun
sparring
factor
sessions
for...
with yourself can reveal some things.
It did reveal interesting things looking through my own armature to spot what the other me was doing. Must be some fuckery with the sensor modules. I didn't anticipate it, but everything except the duplicate's body was gone when I tried to look through my own arms. But although
You should get some rest.
although if you are plotting to move me kin, move me business partner Silas as well. I doubt he'd want to be away from Jonah, especially considering it's revolving me.
We'll see to it.
Maybe at worst, or at least make sure that they can still leave. I'm gonna be surprised that those two fucking lovebirds
Oh no, I wouldn't.
want to still go on dates.
Trust me, they do not try and be a jailer.
I wouldn't be if you were a bit more strict. I wouldn't be surprised if I were jailed up in your sight for just simply the anomaly of being a rabbit not interested in sex.
To be honest, kind of circling back to that. I mean, I don't have a drive at all. My relationship with my wife is simply romantic.
I was about to say, same with your madam. I know I was having natters with her while the research were being performed. And they were defending it.
It was purely an intellectual one. I'm sure you could find someone on that level.
Maybe. I wouldn't know. There's a lot of folk I consider
maybe you can talk with Max, ask about which dancer is the best at Atlantis. Don't tell me. I'm sure either of them know.
Look, I know me and Max have already had Gidget. I wouldn't know if there are any more, but I definitely remember the factor of spotting Azazel was as red as a ghost could bloody be because of Gidget. Aye. Well,
get some rest, bud.
Aye. I'll head back home and sleep. Thanks, mate.
Of course. I'm here if you need anything.
Aye. I'm not exactly sure how well the PDA's warp core will work here. I could at least give it a try.
I can just send you. Hell, I did it to Happy at the... because... what they said.
True. I nearly saw her.
Make sure they weren't looting the corpse, and they call Red a... inferior model to his father. I had half in mind to just straight up cold clock them and send them across the floor.
Thank goodness I didn't. Thank goodness I was too wrapped up in my own grief and thoughts to hear that. If I heard that at the time, I probably would have tried to rip her in half.
Hey, there's your proof for your siblings of how you all aren't the only rabbits.
I already know that. I knew it was a fallacy to claim that on the planet we live on, or at least in that world, a part of the metaverse, that we were the only bloody rabbits. Honestly, I feel like I shouldn't be hearing too much on Happy's bollocks. Especially like that. I may end up going through with Truffles' plan. Bloody sword's edge knife.
Rest, lad. Send you home.
Aye.
I'm sure they have your bed made.
Aye. Alright.
I'll talk to you soon, Jack.
Aye, Jones.
Fancy and woo fun.
Yeah.